it's important that when you go into a little bit of a break, that they're going into it fresh and happy, because then when you come back into work, you expect them to then be looking forward to training again and looking forward to the game ahead.
It's also important to carry out that game plan as well, and you must have been really pleased on Monday that they were able to do that.
Yeah, look, especially with a short turnaround, that is more difficult, because every game is different. This game plan here will be different to the game plan that we had at Crewe, because they're different challenges that we're going to face. So, yeah, everything looks a little bit different. But with the week ahead that we've got, things might not look too different in all of those games, even though there's different styles.
14 games now you've been in charge as well, 5 wins in that period. You must be pretty pleased with that. Would you have taken that when you first came in, do you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think the 5 wins, it's back to what we said before, there'd only been 4 wins in probably about 8 months. So to get 5 wins in 2 months, yeah, I probably would have done. The 2 draws, we could have easily had 7 wins and 7 defeats, or maybe 5 defeats and 2 draws, if that makes sense. So you always look at that, the what ifs. But I try not to dwell too much on that, because there's nothing we can do about a penalty that we conceded late on, for instance, in one of those draws, and there would have been another defeat at home to Accrington where we conceded another penalty. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. But the answer to your question is probably I would have taken the 5 wins, but I might have wanted less defeats and maybe a couple more draws.
A penultimate home game as well for fans thinking about coming down after seeing what a fantastic performance on Monday. What would be your message to the supporters?
Well, like I've said before, just getting behind the team, no matter what, getting behind the team is unbelievably important. And when we got our noses in front at the weekend, you saw how difficult it was for the Crewe players to get back into it, because they would have turned up at that game not in an arrogant way. They would have turned up expecting to beat us. So therefore, when that doesn't happen and it doesn't go to plan, supporters get a little bit down, and then there's a few moans and groans. And probably what happens with that, it actually makes the players worse and puts them on edge even more. So Crewe had a tough time because they've got a young team. So like I've said before, just stay with the players for me, if they can.
Also an opportunity to play another team towards the top of the table.
Well, we've got plenty of them opportunities. Don't worry about that. We've probably had too many of them, but yeah.
What can you expect from MK Dons on Saturday?
Well, pretty much what I've expected against them when I've played against them before. They're heavily possession-based, good footballing team. So yeah, we know what a tough game it's going to be for us. But we've put some thoughts forward this morning, because the ball at some stage, they will. I watched them the other week against Stockport, and before Stockport scored, MK Dons could have been 3 or 4 goals to the good. They really could have been, and that game could have ended up being somewhere in the region of 6-4. That game. So, what we don't really want to do is we don't want to give them too much of a leg up in the game.